Hello, welcome to Cinemondo. Kathy and Mark.
Yay. Hey, everybody. Listen, summertime is approaching, and what that means, summertime films, which
could be good and bad.
True. And so we're trying to only to review the ones we think might be good. And this one
and also
is
sometimes just trash. I know I'm going to like horror movies or thrillers. But
Yeah,
also,
well,
I
those are
really
good.
we really try and pull out films directed by women because, number one, there aren't that many. So
Not
it's not
that
that
many.
hard to do.
Yeah.
And it's sort of horror thriller.
And I think there are
genre.
more coming. Like I've watched a lot recently where a female director is doing this,
Oh,
and
I
they're
love it.
really great. And so this one is directed by Zoë Kravitz, who's obviously an actor, and so we're familiar with her. But she's directing this film called Blink Twice, which is coming out August 23rd. Big cast. I'm Channing Tatum, Adria
She has a lot of
Arjona.
friends.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Does.
Alia Shawkat, which is great.
Oh, I
which
love
I
her.
really like. Yeah, she's in it.
love
Christian
Search Party.
Slater, Haley Joel Osment, kind of a fun. Kyle MacLachlan, Geena Davis, and
Yeah, okay.
I'm excited to see what it's all about. I know it's kind of
See
it's
what
a
it's all
thriller
about.
suspense thing, and I know Channing Tatum plays a billionaire tech guy. So that's
Does
what
he
I
now?
know.
That's kind of perfect casting.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So let's check out the trailer for Blink.
What does it
I
mean?
know. Hopefully we'll find out. We'll see.
What is that? Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So, everybody's dead. How about we start at the beginning?
Okay, great.
Okay, here we
Great
go.
beginning.
Yes, Frida. This is my childhood buddy, Cody. Vic, my left and right hand man.
Perfect.
Tom.
Hi!
Aw,
All right, who did this?
Frida, Sarah, Frida.
that's great.
Cute nails. Thank you.
This is our resident wonder boy, Heather, Camilla. Hey, what's up, man? I don't know who that is. We're going to my island for a few days. Do you guys want to come?
I would go.
This is crazy.
Yeah, sure.
I would go.
Did we just jet off to a billionaire's island with a bunch of strangers?
No, he's not a stranger. He's Slater King.
Everybody say, making memories!
Can you imagine?
You having a good time?
We're having a great time. We're drinking champagne and we're eating amazing food.
What's the catch?
So do you think the human sacrifice is before or after dinner?
Legendary parties with Slater King. Not what I thought it was gonna be.
There it
Still have
is.
fun. It's just a little different now.
What do you mean?
Phones, please. Wait, for real?
You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do.
No way.
I'm having a great time here. But I also have this feeling that I'm like, not.
Where's my knife? Who has my knife?
Oh, dude, your eye.
What? Oh, no, I know, right?
There's something weird going on here.
Everybody's smiling and laughing like 1960s flight attendants. Like, I'm having a good time. I'm like, I'm having a great time.
There's something wrong with this place.
Where's Jess?
Who's Jess?
My friend. That was in the room next to mine. Wake up!
Oh, that's.
Wake up! I feel like we're forgetting like a lot of stuff.
Okay, but like,
Oh shit.
how?
A box full of Polaroids is always bad.
Yep.
Something's making us forget.
Uh-oh.
We need to know what's really going on.
Blink twice if I'm in danger.
Well, maybe not. Answer that one.
Yeah.
You know, if Dale Cooper's there, it's gonna shit's going down.
right.
No, it's gonna be weird. So you know, I've seen movies like this, and I always love movies like this.
It's like knives out-ish, and I think there's a lot to like in this. I think there's a sense of humor here. I like the actors in it, but I think it falls into that traileritis of showing too much of the story. Now, maybe I know the story is things are gonna turn for the worse somewhere, but I thought they just showed too much of that for my taste. But maybe I'm maybe I'm being too tight on it.
I think we know because of Knives Out, we know something's gonna go wrong. We know
Right.
people are gonna, and he says, I like the very beginning. Well, everyone's dead. Like we know,
Right.
and probably not everyone's dead. Maybe he's assuming. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think there's that already the assumption shit's going down. So they had to show us a lot of shit going down that made it look special and different and funny. I still don't quite know what's happening though. I mean, they
No,
kind of
I don't
hint to the
either.
cult, but we don't really know what that means. And it kind of reminded me a little bit. I don't know if you saw the last season of Severance, but they have where they all go
Yes.
to they go to his retreat or whatever in the
Right.
mountains, and they're
Right.
all kind of
Right.
trapped there, and just things seem off. Like there's just some weird stuff going on, and just not quite to this extreme at all.
Right.
But
Right.
it's that
Right.
sort of like when normal people enter. This is what I love to enter the world of the uber rich. And there's just different rules. There's like the Jeffrey Epsteins. Like if
Right.
a billionaire says, "Hey, we're going to my island," I'd be like, "Oh, I really want to, but I'm afraid to at the same time."
Because
It's
it's
just
their
wonder,
place.
the rules.
Yeah,
It's just
it's their.
rules.
You're going into their world, and you have to sort of.
Yeah.
You're not yourself anymore. You're like, oh my god, I have to sort of bow to this person. I don't really know what's going on here.
Yeah.
And the super billionaires, they do have the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, or they have this weird sort of culty stuff that can happen.
Yeah.
So that's not, that's totally believable. That could happen. You know, if
Totally.
I just think the cast is interesting. I like that Christian Slater has a role in it because he
Yeah.
sort of hasn't been into too much. Haley Joel Osment always has a likable presence. So, and Alia Shawkat is always like, I think our sort of our person there. Like
Yeah, she's our way in. She's
she
the one
is
that
our way
knows,
in.
like,
Yeah,
always
one
a
of
little
the-
skeptical, which you hope
When's-
you would be, or would you be totally seduced? I have no idea how I would go. Like you get there and you get a peek into how the other half lives. It would be so exciting. You're like, I'm part of it. I'm one of them, but you're never really one of them. And that's the kind of the key,
I think
that
in
you know.
the real world, I would go in totally blind, going, "This is fantastic," and like unless something happened, then all of a sudden I go, "Oh shit, I'm in a horror movie."
Yeah, well, the thing is, you have to go and then wait for shit to happen, and then you're like, "Well, I made a mistake. I came to this terrible
Exactly.
place." You think
Yeah.
that after seeing 2 Knives Out movies, I would know better than to go to
Right.
the uber rich retreat, like, oh.
Right,
But
right,
there
right.
would still be like it would probably be worth it just to see what happens.
It's a life experience. Hopefully, you make it through. You know.
Hopefully, it's not just a death experience, but we never know. So we have a poster, and there's that moment where you see the Polaroids in the movie, which I love. A box of Polaroids, because you're like, oh shit, what is that? Because every time in a movie or a show or a true crime show, when there's a box of Polaroids, it is bad news.
I
Never good.
think of Get Out. When he
Yes.
sees the pictures of all her past boyfriends.
Or like
So-
even just like you see the serial killer's victims in
Right.
compromising poses. You're like,
Right,
oh shit,
right.
he was there. So we have a little bit of blood on this. It definitely has a horror vibe with this poster. This is full horror vibe. I mean, they have her
Yes.
looking kind of scared. The
Right.
camera looks pretty weird and ooky.
Yeah,
I still have
the-
I have a Polaroid from like 100 years ago. It doesn't
We
work.
have-
I just have it. It's a sculpture.
We have one too. Yeah,
And
it
I would
actually
love to
still
try-
works. It costs like $30 to buy the film or something for like 8 shots or something. So
Love that. There's something about it, but I love the idea of Polaroids because they're analog and they're not digital, which is probably one of the reasons he likes them. Is that it's one original and it's done, and no one else
Right.
has it, and he has it.
Right.
Like that's the
Right.
kind of thing I think is very cool about it. And there's something about when you're talking about actors like him and these likable characters, like you're saying, like we have Kristen Slater, people that we know and have known for a while. There's a history that goes along with it. So you're watching this thinking, okay, Kristen Slater's always been kind of smart and a little dark. Then you have Shawkat, who was great in Search Party, but also amazing in Arrested Development. So you kind of have this history with these actors. And then you have Channing Tatum that you're like, okay, he is usually a sweet, adorable guy, but he also seems like he could go to that dark side.
Right.
So I really
Right.
like that casting and him in this picture.
yeah.
Scary.
So I'm tempted, but I was talking before we got on to Kathy's thinking, I think they're just going to show too much. And now I'm kind of pulling that back a little bit, saying,
Okay.
I think it wets my whistle. I still wish it was a little bit less, but still, I don't know really what's happening and what's going to happen to the main character. So that works.
I hope they go for it. Because I feel like with Knives Out, I'm one of the few people who did not like the Knives Out movies. One is I feel like they were super contrived. I do not like Daniel Craig in them. I think his accent's really distracting. And then
right.
I just feel like you want everyone in them to die. You hate everyone usually, and I
Right,
feel like
right,
they're
right.
not very smart. Like there's always like this super obvious setup, like, oh look, a room full of glass sculptures. What do you think's gonna happen in here? Like
Yeah.
just really dumb kind of stuff. So I'm hoping this will take the Knives Out and just push it way harder. Like Knives Out
Well,
feels very pulled back, like very toned
yeah.
down, you know?
Well, one that I think I don't know if you saw The Menu, which came out
Yes,
with
yes.
that was sort of the same thing, but
Yeah.
that sort of didn't pull its punches. It sort of went for it, I think, if I remember correctly. Maybe this
It
is a little
didn't,
bit
it
more like
didn't.
that. It did.
It
Okay,
didn't, it didn't.
maybe I
I
don't
mean,
remember it all the way, but
it was great, but I mean, should have been cannibal element. I just feel like they were missing that. You know, it kind of looked
right,
like they set it up like it was cannibal, and then oh, it's
right.
not. He's just mad at everyone, and that's it. Like,
Gotcha. Right,
wait,
right, right.
what? Like, it
Yeah.
just didn't have a big ending. But I
Right.
love the setup. I love the setup of
Setup.
rich people at a thing, and they're at the behest of someone who has bad
Right.
intentions. That's
So
fucking
this
great.
feels a little bit more like that versus not, but
Yeah.
hopefully I agree with you. It should go to the extreme, whatever that might be.
should.
Like there should
Yes.
be some carnage,
Yes.
you know,
It
associated
starts
with this movie.
cranky. Like I love like the penis on his head and one guy,
Yeah.
oh look, I have a black eye. It's hilarious. Like no one
Yeah.
wants to believe that anything bad's happening because they're in this incredible experience. And so everyone's kind of
Right.
blowing it off. And even they're like, well, I think having so much fun, but I'm not. You know, it's just that sort of forced, like we're supposed to
And
be
what happened to
having
my
fun.
friend? You know, my friend that
Yes,
was
where's
right
the
next to
friend?
me, and
And now
nobody
the
knows who
room
they
doesn't
are.
even exist. Now the
Right.
room is
Yeah.
just dressed. It's gone.
Yeah.
So pretty
Yeah.
great. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, they probably might have given away a little bit, but at the same time, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Okay. I'm gonna
Like,
agree.
pull
with
it back,
you.
Mark.
I'm pulling it back, saying
Okay, we're
it's-
pulling it back.
and plus that's right up, you know, again, anything that's contained thriller, people in a setting like that, I'm always going to
Beautiful
watch
set.
that. Always going to
Yes,
watch it.
luxury with horror. It's the best combination. All right. All
All
right.
right,
Tell us
everybody,
what you think in the comments. If am I wrong about Knives Out, maybe I need to reassess. I'm just saying, did not love them. All right.
I'm kind of with you. They were okay. All right, everybody.
Okay.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.